So we're back in with another Friday night developer recap video for Marvel's Avengers. Now at the moment it's actually 11 o'clock in the UK. The streams actually start around about 10 o'clock for me, but I'm going to try going forward if I can to try and get the recap out shortly after the actual stream. Normally I wait till the next day, Saturday. I actually work on a Saturday and I normally do the stream alongside my work. Don't tell my boss that, but I normally do that. But I'll try and get them out a bit earlier if I can. So with this particular stream, it was mainly about the UI. A lot of big changes coming with the War for Wakanda expansion. We had Stephen Wetstein, who is the UI director, on talking about it, and we got a sneak peek at a new Black Panther outfit. It wouldn't be a stream if we didn't have Andy showing off an outfit in it. So what we'll do, usual format here anyway, we'll do the Reddit recap with Billy B311. We'll run over that and I'll give my general thoughts on what he's typed down there, and then from there I've edited out all the interesting parts of the stream for you. So let's jump in with the Reddit recap first. As always, there will be a link to this Reddit thread in the description below, so drop by and leave Billy an upvote there. So starting off here anyway, the character gear loadout screen is completely different, and that's most certainly true. Now, the people in the stream, from reading the chat, they seem to absolutely love it. There really was quite positive, the reception. Personally, I felt that it was a little bit cluttered, the main page, and I felt there was an over-emphasis on store items on it. So what you had, and normally you had to go to different pages to get it, you had nameplates, takedowns, challenge cards, outfits, emotes and consumables all on the main splash page when you actually go in and see your character. However, we are getting characters for free, we're getting expansions like Black Panther for free, so I can understand why they're doing that, but I think it's something to certainly bring up, that I think this has really been front and centre of the UI design for this particular page, that they get as many eyes on store items as they actually can. Makes sense, but just pointing that out there. Now, next up, they'll continue to update the UI, and this new UI allows them to add requested features like gear loadouts. That's coming after the War for Wakanda expansion. It would be great to have it with it, but hey ho, we've waited this long. We'll hopefully get it in the not too far future. Each character UI page is a unique theme for the character. That's a nice little touch there. The new UI allows you to see your spec much easier and not through tons of tabs. The new UI helps support D-pad movement due to its grid setup, which didn't work in the last UI, so that is definitely a nice change. I'm a big fan of that one. The UI and the way it worked with the D-pad was really inconsistent on the old one. Next up, the gear UI now allows gear locking, so you don't destroy an item by accident. This is absolutely awesome. Overdue, but absolutely awesome. I'll give them that. You can now carry 11 pieces of gear per slot. I believe it was 9 before, so that's an improvement. You can now mark individual pieces for dismantling, so that's certainly nice. And you can tab between the different gear categories easily. If a lot of this doesn't make sense, when we do the breakdown in the stream, you'll see all these screens and it will make a lot more sense there. Next up anyway, you can hold the dismantling button for fast consecutive dismantling, so that's an improvement again. A maskless version of T'Challa's iconic suit can be seen as a challenge card reward. That was on the first page. I'm talking about how you can see lots of things such as that. And it's always going to be reminding you, if you don't actually buy the challenge card, you're going to be reminded every time you go into that page. Makes sense from a business perspective, definitely they're doing that. So next up here, let's see, there is a lot to run over. I think I've lost my place here. So you can move gear to the inventory locker and back to your inventory now in the gear menu. That's awesome. That's a massive improvement. I always struggled to find the locker, what screen it would be on before. Gear that's ready to be upgraded has some pulsating green arrows on them. You can now pin the compare gear option so it stays up, so that's good. They have more work to do in how stats are displayed. They showed off stats, but they really hadn't changed much, to be honest. Rather than having two columns, it was just one big long column, so potentially is a little bit easier to see. But they say it's been updated to better show you your overall stats and will stay up when you select the option. The new UI help sets up the future for comics and will allow more to do with them. So later on, when I show off the parts of the stream where Stephen was talking about the UI, you actually hear him talk about the comics in a bit more detail. Next up here, the update helps put their menu in a position to add some requested features like an emote wheel, but that's all they'll say for now. That's great, and it makes sense to bring in an emote wheel. They're going to make money from emotes, and personally I don't really buy them because it's a pain to actually fiddle between them, but if there was an option of fiddling between them and doing different emotes for different situations, I probably would buy them more. Now next up, the font and the codex has been updated to easier to read, just simple stuff there. The faction terminals have been updated to support all the factions, so you don't have to go to different different areas to accept assignments. Big improvement. Didn't see the Wakandan expansion faction in there. I thought they maybe might spoil it, but they didn't do that. Then it says there is a setup for gear loadout, so we won't be with the War for Wakanda update. I mentioned about that earlier on. That's going to come at a later date. And then no developer stream next Friday, but on the War Table Day, they will also have a combat stream later on. So I'll look to probably do 2 recaps on that particular day. And then a bunch of blogs coming next week, including info on enemy factions and an event. So there we go. That was actually quite a lot that was recapped there. So what we'll do now, we'll jump into the actual stream. Let me know what you think about the UI in the comments below. Am I being a bit too critical when I'm talking about the front page being cluttered and having that overemphasis on the store page? And I'll say just once more, I understand why they're doing it. They have to bring in money, but it doesn't change the fact I still think it's a bit cluttered with an awful lot that hasn't actually got to do with gear and your character. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and enjoy the rest of this stream. And thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. I'll see you all again soon.
Hey everybody, introduced, I'm the UX UI director at Crystal. I'm really excited to kind of show you the work the team has been doing and getting us in a better place to continually add features and add things that you all have been asking for. The system we're going to show you is a first step to getting there. I want to set that for you, is that this is going to have a lot of framework in place for future features and things to come. So the big change, as you can see, is that we have brought something really exciting. And it's something that when I joined the team that I was very eager to try to do, is have us be able to see your hero all in one place. One of the things with the current UI and UX is that things were spread across lots of tabs, and things were kind of nested or hidden in different places. Now for War for Wakanda, this is just only going to be a single loadout page, like your main character, but this is setting us up for the future, and that we will have the ability to have multiple loadouts and skill presets. Another exciting aspect that we brought is a little bit more theming for each of the heroes. And so like one of the things that was meaningful to me is just like color and some iconography, and so that the menus will actually change based on which heroes you select, and we'll show you that as we kind of go through and select different things. So going in here, you can actually you see that we actually made the screen have more real estate to display and organize. This will also lead us to future things of how to organize content. But once you dive into a section that is cosmetics related, you can ease of access, just use the tabbing, the main ribbon, to go through all your cosmetics sections, set up your hero, get everything the way you want it. And then you can back out of this menu, and then you can see that top section of your hero has been fully spec'd out. If you switch to Hulk, and now you can just open your new character menu, you can then see that the theming changes, and that this is setting us up again, like I said, to add more customization and making it more unique to your hero. And this is just a stepping stone to us doing more. And so this is a way to get that really nice theming, that iconography going, and then that way you can quickly see your hero, see their full spec of everything, and not worry about trying to tab and dive into sub tabs and things like that. You can just quickly remind yourself of your spec and everything related to Hulk. So with Black Panther, you'll be able to see his menu theme. It's personally, I know people on my team's favorite. It's very has a very crisp, monotone, classic style to it. And then another exciting thing is, because this menu is now grid based, meaning everything is kind of nicely organized and in line with each other, this helps support D-pad movement. So I know there's folks, I'm one of them, that sometimes cursors can be hard to navigate with. And so one of the things I wanted to make sure is, like, having this kind of gridded layout allows our D-pad to actually be usable, and you can kind of traverse through this menu. And if you want to kind of show that off by just kind of clicking around with the D-pad, you can kind of just easily go around, go up and down, and you can move around to the different menus. Is now we have lock. And so one of the biggest features that I know you all have been wanting is to be able to lock a piece of gear so you don't destroy it by accident. This, for me, had happened, and I know that it can really be devastating if you accidentally delete something that you were really excited and you really wanted to keep and not lose. And so you can now use the left trigger to mark. So you can go through and mark randomly whatever ones you want. So we'll just mark like 2 or 3 of them. And now you can then mass dismantle those 3. Moving items. So one of the things that as you play, we wanted to allow you to have access to your locker at all times. And that has not been a thing. And so previously, the only way you could access your locker is post missions or in being located in one of the outposts, so you could access your locker. This allows you to go and highlight a piece of gear, and you can mark it for moving it. So we can mark 2 items. So you would use right trigger. So left is to destroy, right is to move. And now you can move those 2 items. So if you hold it down, you'll see that they will get transferred and move to your locker. It will pin to the screen your actual list, and it's laid out nicer than the previous UI, where it's a little bit clear about what it means and how things are nested underneath intensity, for example, resolve. And you can see how those things kind of get you to your value. There's more work that, to come on that, but this sets us up for a really good way to allow you to kind of see those overall stats, and it will stay pinned. So then again, you can peruse and look through all your gear and see if you can find a new piece of gear that is actually going to give you enhancements to your hero stat. Takedowns is, I know, something that we all love. Some really beautiful takedowns have been coming out lately. Is we wanted to expand the amount that you can have equipped. And so we expanded it to support 8. And so that way the user can go in, select up to 8 different takedowns, and that's their rotation. Or if for photo mode lovers, they can, if they want to catch a really specific shot, you can manage your takedowns to make sure you only have that one specific takedown equipped. So that way you can easily do that same takedown over and over again if you're trying to get a really nice shot that you love. I know a question would be like, why is comics on the screen? Why is this here? And so a thing that I really wanted people to understand is comics are a thing that actually impact your hero. And that's something that no one actually realizes, is that they have perks to them. And this does help set us up for the future to do more with comics and make it more meaningful to your actual character's build. And so having this a part and represented on the character page and a part of the loadout is very meaningful towards setting us up to support more things. Is if you wanted to go in there, you can kind of see that he's got his Iron Man color.
There we go.
Yeah. We expanded on the terminals. And so one of the things is kind of just make the terminals be more effective, is we now have them support multiple factions. So the UX that we started doing in the menus for the character menu, we made it be extensible to other sections of the game. And so that way you can tab between Shield and Inhuman, and you can actually quickly just tab between those 2 factions and see your missions. And then you could also, which this already came out, but it's something that was a part of this process, was we have it accept all. Again, just kind of like the enhancements that we added to the gear page, is that you can hold it and it will accept all of those items. And so that way you don't have to go and highlight each one just to accept it. You can just accept all of them.
So this is called the Royal Legacy outfit. We wanted to pay homage to ancient Wakandan culture. If you look back to Black Panther 1 million BC, those comic series, It is very reminiscent of what this looks like, but we added in some things from how he looked when Shuri was Black Panther into one outfit. So this is totally inspired by multiple comics, and we just wanted to make sure to have something to pay homage to his culture. This is the Royal Legacy outfit.